The close-up view reveals the alligator crosshead. Manpower asserts itself when the turntable motor fails. Video is limited at night, but the lack of bright city and country lights in Russia created the opportunity to take a series of flashbulb-lit still photos. The fact that the conditions are less than ideal, but the locomotive is a Russian favorite, the L-Class 210O, which we haven't seen since the Baltic states. The damp air amplifies the stoker engine exhaust coming from the top of the tender behind the coal bunker. Hard-working steam locomotives from a variety of classes, large and comfortable sleeping accommodations aboard clean cars, friendly staff, and diverse scenery. The Russian rail tours have great appeal, and barring any drastic changes in the country's political situation, they should only get better. Two of our 3 trips were operated by Enthusiast Holidays of Great Britain, and we recommend that you consider them for your escorted rail tours in Russia and other European countries. For one glorious week in September 1989, South African Railways turned back the clocks of steam operation to the time when American-looking steam ruled the 146-mile Kimberley to Dayar Steel Raceway, making it the premier steam attraction in the world. The famous 484s used on this line were joined by 8 classes of reserve locomotives to provide a non-stop 24-hour show of big-time freight and passenger steam railroading, with a delightful emphasis on double headers. The Great South African Steam Festival is the story of steam railroading as it was meant to be. Handsome, massive steam locomotives working full bore in the style once prevalent in North America. A highlight of the festival is the performance of Pacific number 858 with 6-foot-tall drive wheels. A banjo-shaped smokebox leads the distinctive form of the world's last active condensing steam locomotive, a 25 Class 484. Perhaps the most celebrated participant is the famous Red Devil, a 484 rebuilt to high horsepower standards. The crack Orange Express passenger train was steam hauled during the festival. Pacific 858 joined a 482 for just one of the 17 combinations of double headers shown on this tape. The most unusual locomotive at the festival was a Bayer Garrett. an articulated locomotive with the boiler in the middle, here shown helping behind a 482. The Great South African Steam Festival is a 60-minute tape showing steam railroading as it was meant to be. The exciting saga of the West's two most famous steam locomotives continues. As Goodhart Productions presents a 57-minute, 2-in-1 videotape, 8444 down the Deschutes and 4449 over the Siskiyous. Follow Union Pacific's 8444 on a 2-day excursion train run in May 1989 from Portland to Bend, Oregon, and return through the rugged Deschutes River Canyon and over the high trestles of the remote Inside Gateway Line. We subtitle this half of the tape, Part 2 of 8444, The Great Steam Trek, because it picks up the action where that tape leaves off, showing 8444 roaring across Idaho, climbing the Blue Mountains of Oregon, and hugging the Columbia River to Portland. "8444 Down the Deschutes" completes the story of the 484's epic 5-week journey from Cheyenne, Wyoming to Portland via Los Angeles, California, where the locomotive participated in the 50th anniversary of Los Angeles Union Passenger Terminal. Ride with our cameras as we record the eastbound action over the Blue Mountains and across the expanse of Wyoming until 8444 ties up in Cheyenne to await renumbering to 844. In December 1988, a train watcher's fantasy came true as Southern Pacific Railroad and Rio Grande Industries operated America's most colorful steam locomotive, Daylight 4449, over one of the Pacific Northwest's most fabled railroad lines, the twisting, curving, climbing Siskiyou Line in southern Oregon. Rio Grande and Southern Pacific wanted to give shippers and the press a first-hand look at their new combined railroad operation, so they assembled an immaculate train of sparkling business cars and spotlessly clean diesel locomotives. The dramatic frontispiece of this train was 484, number 4449, and what a sight she made as she stormed the Siskiyou Line on 2 clear, cool days in December. The Siskiyou Line itself was the ideal showcase for 4449's thundering performance, with 2.2% grades still guarded by semaphore signals. Share in this rebirth of passenger train glory and mountain railroading in Goodhart Productions' 4449 over the Siskiyous. "8444 Down the Deschutes" and 4449 over the Siskiyous, back-to-back action on one great tape. Don't let that air horn fool you. This is big-time steam railroading from steam railroading's last empire, the far-flung railroad system of China. In the new tape, Steam and the Dragon, you'll not only see the famous QJ Class 210-2s double-headed, but you'll see handsome Pacifics high-wheeling across the countryside on passenger trains. And you will even visit a remote narrow-gauge line. Passenger railroading, freight railroading, winter railroading. It's all under steam in the exciting tape, Steam and the Dragon.
Product of a Chinese industrial revolution that continues to this day. Interestingly too, a product still being developed and perfected to cope with millions of freight operations over the Chinese sprawling rail network. In other parts of the world, steam has been abandoned in favour of liquid or electric power, and the steam locomotive no longer reigns supreme. Vast coal resources and the availability of cheap labour mean that steam will be safe here for years to come, and this programme will explore both rare and popular classes from Liaoning to Heilongjiang provinces. We start at Harbin, catching sight of locos and plus tons. Double and occasionally triple-headed trains breathe the fiery spit of dragons in anticipation of being let out onto the steel racetracks out of town. The dreaded diesel may seem to haunt this scene, but a 1985-built locomotive carries a headboard showing its adoption by the young Communist Party. Harbin Shed is where the beast can best be observed at close quarters. The temperature is well below freezing, and the continual spewing of steam and water around the shed requires the attention of manual labour in its clearance. The air is choked with the sulphurous emissions of numerous QJ-class locomotives. Preparation and maintenance continues 24 hours a day, as locos come in and out. Coal, water, oil and sand, all needed to keep these much decorated beasts aglow and on the move. And so to Wongang Bank, and a chance to see locomotives tackling a grade of approximately 1 in 80 with long freight and passenger rosters. Most workings power assisted with a banker, seen here working back light to Harbin. Here, as nearly throughout all of China, the box-pocked wheeled QJ class adorns the local shed. This JS class, successor to the JF, was still in production in the 1980s. On lines to the north of Nanchar, as far north incidentally as we will go, some variety can be found. For example, on the branch to Wuyiling, there are spectacular sweeping gradients encompassing action from double-header and banker-assisted trains. QJs, JSs, all in evidence in 1987 on the branch, with occasional RMs on the main line. Uncommon to Chinese railway practice too, the occasional back-to-back loco operation. If it's the rare beasts you've come to see, then turn your attention to the Pacifics. particularly the RM class 462s. They're a part of steam evolution fast disappearing, certainly the dinosaurs of China's steam sea. And while steam-hauled passenger trains are themselves becoming rare, RM class passengers out of anywhere make the whole expedition worthwhile.